The magnetic lasso draws a selection border which automatically snaps to the edges of the object in your image as you drag your cursor over it. So you want to click the spot in your image to set your first anchor point. Now as you drag your cursor around the edge, it's going to attach anchor points or segments to the strongest colored edge in the image. Now you don't have to click while tracing over the object, although you can add segments manually by clicking once if it doesn't automatically snap to the edge. Then you can continue to trace, adding the segments manually wherever you need them. You can also temporarily switch to the polygonal and the lasso tools by holding down the Alt key and either dragging for the lasso tool or clicking for the polygonal lasso tool. If you make a mistake, you can actually use the Delete key to erase points. And then you can continue to trace once you've removed the mistake. So as we're finishing up here, you can see that the end point is about to go with the start point, and the cursor now has a circle beside it. So this is telling you that you're just about to close off your selection. So you just want to click once, and there's your selection border. Now the magnetic tool has a few more options for making your selections a little bit more precise than the polygonal or the lasso tools. So you want to start by selecting whether you want to create a new selection, add to a selection, subtract from a selection, or select an area that's intersected by another selection. The next option is feather. Now you choose this if you want a softer edge on your selection. You can enter a feathering value up here in the text box, and it ranges from 0 to 255. Now if you already have a selection made, you can actually add feathering to it by going up to Select, Feather, enter your feathering value, and then hit OK. You can add anti-aliasing. That's going to smooth out the hard edges of your selection, and you want to select this before you actually make your selection because you cannot add anti-aliasing to an existing selection. Then we have width. This is how close to the edge you have to be for the magnetic lasso to recognize it. A smaller value makes the edge more precise. Next is edge contrast. This determines how much contrast is needed for the tool to find an edge. Lower contrast equals a lower number, higher contrast is a higher number. And the last option is frequency, and this determines how often the magnetic lasso sets its anchor points.